sure everyone who wants to has a chance to join us today. Give it just another minute here and then we'll get started. Welcome to Prep Week for the 2020 AP exams. So today is an opportunity to practice for the 2020 AP English Language and Composition exam. You're going to complete a question that is representative of the tasks you'll see on this year's exam within the time that you'll actually be allotted on the exam. Please note that while the question is designed to be similar in structure and format to what you're going to see on the actual exam, it's not intended to be representative of the content that will be assessed. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Just a couple of things before we begin. First of all, you can access the prompt for our practice today in the resources link that's in the video description. If you can print it, that's a great idea. That way you can actually write and annotate and interact with it. If not, you might just want to have it open in another window. I also have it on the slide for you, but the print will be pretty small. So I thought you might want to actually have it open where you can make it bigger if you want. Um, you can also get a document ready where you'll be writing your response. This can be handwritten on paper. You can type it in Word. You could type it in a Google Doc. And let's go ahead and practice this the way you'll do it for the actual AP exam. So you should include your AP ID number if you have it on each page, and then your initials. So if you want to prepare those documents, and even though you aren't submitting today, we want to practice, like I said, the way that you're going to actually do it on the exam. Okay, so here's what to expect for today. This is an opportunity to practice writing the essay in a timed situation. So you'll have 45 minutes to write and 5 minutes to submit. And we have submit in quotes because you're not actually going to, but we are going to go through the process so you know what you will do on exam day. So we've talked to you a few times about how to manage your time. You should have about 10 minutes of studying the prompt and annotating the passage, about 5 minutes to write the introduction, about 25 minutes for the body, and about 5 minutes for the conclusion. And for the most part, once you start, I'm just going to take off my mic and video, but I will occasionally jump in with reminders like, hey, you should be about ready to move into the introduction and so on. Um, Keep in mind if you finish early, you should go ahead and move on to the next step. Don't wait for me. I just want to make sure that you're moving along in the process and thinking about it. Um, if you finish early, you should read back through your essay, looking for places where you could maybe tighten up word choice, correct grammar, add clarification, things like that. So you should take the full amount of time. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. By now, you should have everything open and ready. Once I tell you to begin, I will start the timer and then mute myself until I give you your first verbal reminder. If you're not ready right now, just maybe pause the feed and get what you need out, whether it's your, like I said, a Google Doc, Microsoft Word, if you're handwriting, whatever it is that you need to get ready, just pause the feed and then press play when you're ready to begin. All right, everybody ready? Good luck. I'm going to press play. You can get started. All right, so if you haven't already, it's about time to get started writing. So hopefully you're moving that direction. You should start with the intro, and I'll remind you in about 5 minutes to move on to the body. All right, you should be wrapping up the introduction and moving into writing the body. You're doing great. You still have about 15 more minutes left of the body, and then you should move on to the conclusion. So, about 15 more minutes of writing the body. Right. You have about 5 minutes left of writing the body paragraphs before you should start moving into the conclusion. You have just about 5 minutes left, so you should be moving on to the conclusion soon. You're almost there. Oh my gosh, that's my apologies, you guys. I just realized it was the 50-minute and not 45 minutes. So we are at the point where you would submit your work. Luckily, today is the practice. So sorry about that. So today's the practice, which means you're not actually submitting your work. You had a really good opportunity here to practice this. I do want to talk about how you'll submit your work when that time happens. So just a couple of things. You have a couple of different options on the day that you submit your actual exam. And that's okay if you didn't get to your conclusion. That was my fault. You can do that in a minute. I just want to move on for now. So don't worry about it. Just put your pencil down. This is just practice. Um, but I want to go through the couple of options for when you do submit. So one of your options is that you can just copy and paste your typed response. So if you typed it, whether it was in Word or a Google Doc, you can copy and paste it in and click submit. You'll use Google Doc, Microsoft Words, Notes, etc. Again, make sure you have your AP ID and your initials at the top of your response. And you'll have 5 minutes to do that, but you have to make sure that you do hit submit before that 5 minutes runs out. Okay. Another option that you'll have is to attach the document. So again, if you typed it in Docs or Word or Notes, you'll want to save it, whether it's as a doc or as a PDF or .txt, and then you'll upload it and submit. You'll attach it and submit. And again, you'll have 5 minutes to do that. For some of you, not for this particular exam, but for some of your exams, you'll have two questions. So you'll attach two separate documents. This one is just the one though. And one of the things you can do is set up side-by-side windows so that you can display the test question and the timer so that you have everything you need. Okay, another option is to attach photos of your handwritten response. And a couple of things here. Again, you have 5 minutes. You would craft your response on pen and paper. Some of you may have practiced that way today. You'll take a picture, but you need a separate picture for each page. And there's a maximum of 5 photos. It's not likely that you'll have 5 pictures, but you have a maximum of 5 photos per question before clicking submit. Okay. And once again, just making sure you look at the file format. So you can do a .png, a JPEG, or a .jpg. So those are some of your options for submitting on exam day. It's a two-step process. You'll either attach or paste your response and then click submit. If you don't click submit before the timer runs out, your response won't count. So make sure that you're paying attention. That 5 minutes at the end for submission, you want to make sure that you do that. Once you click submit, your response might continue to transfer depending on, your bandwidth and how big the file is, things like that. That's totally fine as long as you hit the submit button in time. You will be able to move on to a second question for those other classes where there might be a second question. Again, you don't have to worry about that for this one. As long as you click submit before the time runs out, you're good. If your response continues to transfer after the exam ends, wait for the on-screen message confirming that your exam is complete. Make sure your submissions have fully loaded before you close your browser or turn off or restart your computer. Make sure you have plenty of battery or you plug in. If you never see that your AP exam is complete message, you should go to cb.org/request makeup to explain the situation and request an e-ticket for the June makeup date. Okay, so just make sure that you pay attention to some of those things. Okay, I also have a few important links for you from College Board. Obviously, this is something that you can always come back to or take a screenshot of. These are just some of the places where you can get pertinent information. And one in particular, I definitely want you to do today, and that is the demo. So we just walked through how to submit your essay, but we want you to practice actually submitting it so that you'll be comfortable and able to do that in that 5-minute window. So at cb.org/AP demo, there is actually a demonstration that you can go through and submit just kind of a practice submission so that you know how to do it. All right. So you did it. No matter how you feel you did today on the timed practice, you should congratulate yourself. This was probably your first time putting all of these pieces together in a timed situation. Tomorrow, we're going to go over this essay, and you'll have the opportunity to figure out what you did well and maybe what you could do to improve. Do better than me at maybe paying attention to the time. I'm so sorry. And then you'll have a chance to do another practice on Wednesday with a different prompt. So wherever you are, you're okay. Don't worry about it. This is all just to help you improve before you get there. Okay. So I do want you to congratulate yourself. I also realized I missed a good opportunity here to put a May the 4th meme in here as well. But good job, you guys. You did it today. Um, Probably better than I did. So thank you so much for joining, and I will see you tomorrow when we go over the review. Thanks. Bye.